When I was pregnant, the thought of breastfeeding grossed me out.
My take on this from the guy's perspective is like the mom has the information in front of her and she makes her call and like you shut the fuck up.
So I went outside and the car wasn't there.
I like truly thought it was gone.
My Valentine's Day present went over like a lead balloon.
I think it's a perfect foray into my big announcement.
Can't get divorced if we're not married.
I officially retire from
Welcome to Two Parents in a Podcast. Hey, Harrison.
Hi, Alex.
No, it's criminal. I was like trying to bait you right there. Harrison calls me Alex, and I feel like I'm in trouble.
You just said Harrison.
I was messing with you to see how you felt, and you just like felt so normal about it.
I've been called so many different things throughout my life that like I typically don't even know what people are calling me. So I caught it there, but with so many abbreviations on my last name and on my first name and
But I'm your baby mama, girlfriend, like I don't know, like I'm your
Alex. Great
No,
name.
you cannot call me Alex. It sounds like I'm in trouble.
You are in trouble.
No, we were out the other day and he was like, "Hey Alex, can you pass that?" Everyone was like, "Whoa, why are you calling her Alex?" You don't like pet names. I love pet names. Like I love it. Nope, not happening from you. When I was
That's the next stage in our relationship.
But so we have a baby together, and then I get a pet
baby
name.
first, then pet name.
He used to call me whenever Tate was in my stomach, and we were gonna name her Tate was a top contender, and we would call her Taters. He would call me Taters, and I liked that. He would say Taters, and I'd be like me, because like we were one, you know.
Yeah,
But now
maybe I call her Bubbers now.
Bubbers. Sometimes you call me Bubbers. Not really.
Maybe.
Yeah. Jules, a confirmation from Jules. Yeah, okay. All right, so we went and worked out together today. Big Barry's family over here. And what'd you say when we left? Tell the class.
I think that it's a really nice routine that we've got into of like regardless of the craziness we're dealing with during the day, that we still make time to go and do this activity together. And it's like, if we do nothing else together that day, like at least we got a workout in and at least we like walked away from it feeling good. And we may not be getting as many date nights as we would like, but like we're finding other activities to get in the mix. I was just trying to give us some love and some grace, and it feels like it just kind of got shot down.
Well, what you said was, this is like date night. Like you and I get to work out together. I was like, we don't talk in workout class.
No. I said we may not get as many date nights as we used to, but we're finding other little activities.
We've gone on one date night, and it was in Whistler.
Yeah.
And then like this weekend we have
Great restaurant, Wild Blue. I'd never heard of it. Really good.
It was like a really fun date night too. And then this weekend we're going to like 2 events, but not just us. Maybe we'll go to dinner before one of them or something.
Yeah, I'd love to do that Saturday.
That'd be nice. Yeah. Saturday starts at 5, so I don't really know that we're going to get that in.
Oh, I thought Friday did too.
It does. So there goes the date night.
Look at that.
We'll hang out.
Check the box.
So this week, little tater totter, she's just not sleeping very well. So we're going through a bit of a sleep regression, or she's teething. I don't know. But anyways, we haven't slept. And I think a result of not sleeping was Harrison was going to sauna with his friend Tim the other day. And he's like walking out the doors like 6 o'clock in the evening. He turns around. He's like, the car got stolen. The car's gone. And I was like, what? So I went outside and the car wasn't there. And I was just like, this is it. Like that the car is stolen. And
I like truly thought it was gone.
You did.
I thought someone jacked it.
You texted Tim and you're like, I can't come. The car got stolen. And I was like, shit, because I thought it was my fault, because we listen and we don't judge. Okay. I have a key in the car and it's like missing. Right? And this isn't the first time I've done this with cars, but it's like wedged in the seat somewhere. So I don't actually have to have a key right now when I get in it. I don't know if you've caught on to this. So I thought, oh no, it's my fault. Because I went to the proper hotel the other day and I was like valet parking and they're like, we need your key. And I was like, oh, I don't have a key, but it's in here somewhere. Oh. So just park the car and then bring it back. And they were like, no, ma'am, you need to actually give us a key because we need to lock it. We're liable for it. I was like, we're good. Don't worry about it. Park it where you can see it. I can't find the key, but it's wedged in a seat.
This makes so much sense because when in the good 3.5 minutes that I thought our car was stolen. Like, my reaction was, like, I kind of thought it was funny. It was like, in what world could our car get jacked? And, like, you know, someone clearly used some, like, advanced tech to, you know, spark the system or whatever.
Hotwire it.
And you were, like, definitely nervous. And I guess you were nervous because you thought that the blame was going to come your way.
Well, I thought about filing the police report, okay? And them asking, how did they get the car?
Would you have said?
Oh, yes, you can't lie to a police officer if I know. Because then what if they backtrack my steps and they talk to the valet guys at the proper hotel and the valet guys are like, no, she knows there's a key in there.
I'm a man of honesty with the law. I'm very supportive of that.
I'd have to tell them.
I'm very supportive of that.
But here's the thing I would tell them too. It's not illegal for me to leave my keys in my car. I'm allowed to do that. It's illegal to take somebody else's car. So they're still at fault. But no, there was no hot wiring. Because here's what happened. Like, we live in a very urban area.
2 lawyers in a pod. Look at us.
2 lawyers in a podcast.
2 lawyers in a pod. But the car wasn't stolen.
Okay, so anyways, yeah, we're down this rabbit hole. So then we're like pacing around for 3 minutes. And I look at him, because I know it's you, not me. And I say, retrace your steps for today. And Harrison's like, the car's at the taco shop.
Well, no, what's so weird is, like, I swear that I have a visual memory of returning the car. Of, like, coming back from, I was working at Soho House, coming back from Soho House, parking, and going along with my day. I just completely blanked that was another day. And yeah, I went to the taco shop. I had a little solo lunch where I watched Canada beat Finland, big win, to get to the finals of the Four Nations Cup. And I guess, like, in a moment of excitement, I walked out of the taco shop and I started walking home. I was pumped and I filmed a TikTok. And I just completely forgot, because I normally walk to the taco shop, and I just walked home, and I am stooge.
Where you forgot was you forgot at the taco. It wasn't like you drove to the taco shop and then wanted to walk home and go get the car later. You had forgotten by the time you ate that you even drove to the taco shop.
Because I've been to that taco shop 15 times and I walked every time. Well, in my defense. And I parked in the back alley. So I didn't, like, walk by my car.
That actually makes it a lot better. You didn't walk by the car and not notice.
No, I parked in a secondary parking spot.
You never drive either. You always Uber. Like, you're an urban man.
Yeah. I don't like driving.
You hate driving. And very rare that you drive by yourself.
Very inefficient.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's pretty efficient, but okay. You guys, I have used the Calm app since the middle of COVID, and it has helped me through so many different phases of life. So I was so excited when they were sponsoring this episode. And they are offering you 40% off the premium subscription and access to their entire library. So this is like a phenomenal deal. Calm is the #1 app for sleep and meditation, giving you the power to calm your mind and change your life. If you listen to any successful person, they'll tell you the #1 thing that they do is they meditate. When I started meditating, I got so much more clear on what I wanted in life. I reduced so much anxiety and I slept so much better. And I'm dead serious. Like, Calm has changed my life. Calm has so much for you guys because everyone faces unique challenges in their daily lives, and mental health isn't about a cookie cutter approach. That's why Calm offers a wide range of content and programs to help you navigate life's ups and downs, including meditations, sleep stories, sleep meditations, and calming music. I love their sleep meditations, grounding exercises, and expert-led talks. Calm puts the tools you need right in your pocket. So stress less and sleep more and live better with Calm. For listeners on this show, Calm is offering an exclusive offer of 40% off of a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/2parents. That's CALM.com/2parents for 40% off unlimited access to Calm's entire library. That's calm.com/2parents.
I feel like we've ran this.
Yeah, so anyways, we found the car.
Partially into the ground.
And the other notable thing that's happened in the household here, because the tagline of this podcast is "Welcome to our house, sorry it's so messy," is my Valentine's Day present. Went over like a lead balloon. Do you know what that means? Put lead in a balloon and it won't float. Which means it didn't go over well. Bad news. So, listen, I was making a TikTok as a good little content creator would. about my outfit of the night on Valentine's Day. And Harrison, sweetest thing on the planet, was like, what bag are you carrying? And then he brought me a little Louis Vuitton bag. That's like every girl's dream. That's like so nice, okay? I was so thankful that he did this. He took the time to go to the store, pick out a bag. I was so excited. And listen, I just thought if we were going to spend so much money on a bag, maybe we would get one that I loved.
I think it's a perfect foray into my big announcement, which only can happen on this podcast.
Can't get divorced if we're not married.
No. I officially retire from getting you gifts.
Oh, gut-wrenching.
Retirement paperwork has been filed with the league.
Oh, paperwork and league.
The commish. No more gifts.
We're giftless. That's so sad for me.
I can come out of retirement, but we're going to need a fix. We're going to need to fix our system.
So I changed my tune because I made a video and I was like, it's so nice he got me this gift. Like, I don't want to come off tone deaf that I'm not thankful for this like very expensive purse, okay? Because we're not the kind here where we're giving each other, like, we don't walk by, we don't like go to the mall on a Saturday to like buy me things. That is like not what's happening here. So I was really thankful that you gave it to me. It was a 2-part Valentine's gift. It was thanks for milking, thanks for, being alive kind of gift.
Yeah, you've been handling so much between motherhood and work and just life that you've been talking about an evening bag forever. And so I wanted to surprise you with something. And you talked about getting a set and
A set?
Like having the set of the 3 bags in the same place.
Oh yeah. I thought I did say I would like
and I
to.
walk in, I was like, she, has these 2 things and she's been talking about a black evening bag, and they showed me the black evening bag. It was like literally what you described. And yes, swing and a miss. But I don't want it to. I just wanted to do something special and I'm not a bad guy, but for how much you've been kicking ass.
Yeah. No, and listen, I love it. I love the idea of it. You
love the idea of it. You don't love it.
I just would have gotten something different. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Well, you sent me into retirement, so there we are.
You can come out of retirement like Tom Brady. He also retired, and then he came back. He made a splash when he came back.
I'm retired right now, so something's gonna have to change.
You can come out of retirement. We'll think of a couple ways to do that. A lot of people suggest a notes app, just some ideas on there. I don't want to give you links though, and really spell it out for you because I like what you pick out. Maybe I don't though. Maybe I don't like what you pick out, I guess, as I say that. Maybe I like the principle of that idea.
Right.
Anyways, that's how the Valentine's Day went. So we're still toying with maybe we do a group return together. Maybe not. Maybe Alex keeps the bag.
I'm on the beach.
Retired with the Corona. What is it? Life's a beach? What's the Corona tagline? Find your beach. Find your beach. What beach are you on? Cabo?
Never been to Cabo. My favorite beach is in Utila.
No one knows where that's at.
I think Utila's in Honduras. Can we get a check on that?
I've been to Honduras, and I saw
Utila Bay Islands.
Sylvester Stallone's house. Why don't you take Taters and
Maybe we can put up the pictures of just how beautiful it is there, because we were held up. The way we got to Utila, we drove from Guatemala and we were held up at gunpoint. So, not the safest place in the world.
It's kind of cool though.
To get held up at gunpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they put the gun to you?
We were driving in the middle of the night. And all of a sudden, just these lights flash on.
Oof.
And there's just guns pointed around the vehicle. And
holy cow.
I'm just I was with Cost and Ben. We're just fuck. Because we were warned that these streets had problems to them. And, we...
How did you navigate that?
Managed to
How?
keep things moving. And
Was there any money exchanged in the process of this?
and then we were good to go.
Is that a yes?
And we got to Utility Bay Islands,
Oh,
and
they're not going to come and get you. Did you pay them?
it was beautiful.
Pesos or dollars?
There's no better way to enjoy a trip than being held up at gunpoint beforehand. Like a beach, you want to know what like beautiful water looks like? You get a gun in your face.
Well, it makes you thankful.
And then they had this bar, and the bar was all open
Did you have any money left
except
for
for
the
a TV. And we watched March Madness on the TV. It was truly like, I'm like I get flashbacks of how great of a trip that was.
Have you ever seen We're the Millers?
No.
Where they get held up, and the only way that they get off is the cop in Mexico wants a blowjob. So that's where my mind's at. So this is your last opportunity to tell us if you gave them money.
There were no blowjobs given.
Was there cash? I wonder how much you had to pay them. You're not going to get like, no, you want me to move on? Just give me a wink if you paid money. Did you have to pay? Okay. Did you not pay? Okay. We're taking your silence as a confession. Say a word if it was over $500. Okay. Oh, a cop. A cop. All right. So
They serve chicken wings at this bar.
that is your ideal bar. That is your ideal food.
And then we drank Fantas the whole time, and we thought Fantas, like, we had Fanta vodkas, and we thought that Fanta didn't have sugar in it.
Gross. I'm gonna so much sugar.
Yeah.
So there's my transition point. Speaking of ingesting things, we're going to talk about what our little girl ingests, which is Milky.
Aren't we doing things we damned each other?
I was going to do that actually after we did this part.
Okay, let's ride.
So
And so what are we talking about, sorry?
So today's episode is around Milky, and breastfeeding versus formula feeding versus combo feeding versus
And
pumping.
why are we talking about this?
Because every time I put up a question box, it's the most asked question besides sex and intimacy, which we already did an episode on, which you can refer back to if you want to after baby, and then that second thing is like, what's your pumping schedule? How are you handling the mental health struggles of pumping and breastfeeding? So I thought timely to do an episode on it because our goal is 6 months of breastfeeding and we're at 5. So we're almost there. And boy, has it been tough. And boy, did I not see that coming. So I thought we would talk about it. And then choosing a formula.
As long as we talk about it through the lens of sharing your experience and like being very clear to the fact that we are like not experts on this subject matter.
Well, this is parent with you, not at you. And never an expert.
As we were making these decisions, you on the fly.
100%, but I will, as always, be very clear about that when I answer the questions.
Okay, love it.
So let's dive in. All right, so the first question is, all right, how did you choose to breastfeed versus formula feed? You know, when I was pregnant, the thought of breastfeeding grossed me out. Remember, I would walk around and I'd be like, I can't have milk come out of my boobs.
Yeah.
It totally weirded me out. And then I did some research on the difference between breast milk and formula to make my decision. And what I found was if I had her and I felt inclined, like I felt that I could breastfeed, I wanted to try that because of the antibodies it would give her and the bond between mother-daughter that would happen. But mainly the antibodies, because when you put formula versus breast milk, like Tate sheds my hormones still. Like sometimes in her diapers, there's like some white stuff and the doctor says like that is mom's hormones coming out of her. So if she had my breast milk, she would have my direct antibodies, which are the best fit for her. And I found that to be very interesting. Even if she got one bottle of breast milk her whole life, like that is something that I wanted to try and give her. But we went and we bought formula before we had her. I didn't know if I'd be able to produce milk, and I didn't know if it would be something that like I would be able to stomach doing. And the moment I had her, my instincts were like, oh, I would really love to try to like breastfeed this baby. And I can't describe it any other way besides instincts. And so I started breastfeeding her. She latched well. I was lucky. My milk did come in. And so I was kind of off to the races. So it was really something that I just relied on my instincts with. Now, I will share like other conversations I've had with people, which is some people have their baby and they're just like, breastfeeding does not feel like it's for me. No problem. They go right to formula. The baby's happy, healthy, and they're off to the races as well. But my experience was I felt, I don't want to say called, but like I felt inclined to breastfeed. And it's worked out. No, it's been hard as hell, but it's worked out for me. So that's how I chose it. But I didn't know anything about I didn't know what formula was. I didn't know what breast milk was. I didn't know the benefits, and I really had to research it. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah, I think my take on this from the guy's perspective is like, as much of a view as you may come into the situation with, or may have come into the situation with, when I like looked at the toll that breastfeeding has taken on you over the past 5 months, like, it's just like really not the guy's place on this one.
Picking?
Like,
well, there's no way
I think it's the guy's job just to be supportive as to what the mom picks. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
I thought, like, I didn't realize, like many things in this, just like what a toll it would be. And so it just kind of felt like
this was
give the mom, you know, the mom has the information in front of her and she makes her call, and like, you shut the fuck up and you support her because, you know, as they say, I think the saying, happy mom, happy baby.
Parents, if you're like me, you love Magnetic Me because changing a newborn is like changing a cat. Almost impossible. And when it goes to changing their diaper, all you want is these magnets that make it so easy. I cannot handle buttons. If somebody gives me a button outfit, I'm like, thank you so much. And I kindly don't use it. Magnetic Me has completely changed the game. They have outfits that are so cute. The prints are so cute. Tate has a countless number of them. And guess who else has them? Me. Because when it comes to breastfeeding, the magnets, it's literally, imagine buttons, but they're magnets. And you just boop, pop them right on. And so I cannot tell you how much we've been recommending Magnetic Me to everyone, that I actually just made a video about it for must-haves for newborns 0 to 3 months old. And that's the same thing for 3 to 6 months old, and so on and so forth. I cannot believe how much time I spent getting Tate dressed, and Magnetic Me completely changed the game. So do what we did. Make changing time easier for you and your baby so you can spend more time on the things you love. Order Magnetic Me today for yourself and as a great gift for any parent. Go to magneticme.com. New customers will get 15% off their first order. Don't wait. That's magneticme.com. Yeah. And that's a big one. Like, there's this thing online. I don't even know if you know about it, but people will like formula shame, or they're like breast milk shame. And I'm like, feed the baby. Feed the baby. It doesn't matter how you feed it. And a happy mom, like, sometimes it's so mentally taxing on the mom to breastfeed that you should do formula. Like, I wish it was a more open conversation for me. Like, there's no shame either way. I'm just obviously sharing my experience. But I do want to say one thing that was funny yesterday. Do you remember I was like, hey, I keep forgetting to order more bottles. Like, I had like a list of things I needed to order. I was like, I want Diet Cokes. I want more bottles, blah, blah, blah. And you were like, I can't do it right now. I'm really busy. And I was like, ugh, I'm also busy. So neither of us did it. And then the nanny called me and was like, Tate's really hungry. And so I had to run over to the neighbor's house to feed her. And then Harrison texted me and he's like, everything's ordered. Because I think that there's this like element for the guy when the mom, I was like walking back and I saw the text and I just smirked and I said, thank you. And you said, no, thank you. Because there's this element of like, you change all the diapers right now. You'll bring me my pump parts, because it's like, I'm in this milk jail kind of.
Yeah, we talked about milk jail on the pod before, and like, I feel for you and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. No, it's good.
And I will be proud of you no matter what decision you make moving forward. Yeah,
listen, we're going to try to do the 6 months, we're going to try to introduce the solids, like not mashed potatoes, avocado, bananas, berries, things like that. And then maybe combo feed, maybe supplement. But there's what we're going to talk about is how we're choosing a formula eventually. But yeah, it's been a tough. Okay, let's go to the next question because it's a good segue.
Okay.
So the second question is talk about the mental struggles of breastfeeding and pumping. You guys, it is so much harder than I thought. I used to see moms and they'd be like, yeah, I'm still breastfeeding. And I was like, oh, great. Like, I don't even really know what that means. Like the equivalent of like making a coffee in the kitchen. And now I understand, like, if a mom says she's breastfeeding or pumping, like 9 times out of 10, I would say there's some mental struggle happening with her. Because number one, when you have a baby, you already go through an identity shift. And, already your world comes from revolving around you to revolving completely around somebody else. And then you add in there having to pump or feed for 30 to 45 minutes every 3 hours. And so then you have 2 free hours a day. And like that's mentally taxing on you. And then add in your boobs fill up. So like if you go work out, there's like the leaking component. There's like, you need new sports bras. You need more support. Your boobs hurt. And then add in, if you don't, you're starving, right? Because like you can't eat enough because you're producing enough food to feed somebody else. And you're like, you have these mental like sugar crashes, I call them. Like I just wanted to eat straight cookie dough. And so it's mentally very taxing on you. Because you had the baby and you want to get back to some sense of normalcy, but you can't because you're constantly feeding. What?
And so when it comes to baby 2, do you think you will breastfeed again?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll try to go 6 months. But I just know it's not forever. Just like pregnancy, pregnancy wasn't easy on me, but it wasn't forever. And so I can do that again. And listen, I don't know what Tate would be like if she was on formula. Maybe she would have gotten sick at some point. I think the antibodies are really helpful for her, but in some capacity, maybe we will combo feed from the beginning. I won't be pressed to feed the next baby every bottle, but I would like to do 3 months of it. Maybe I'll like to do 6 months of it. I'll have to see how I feel. But one thing I have enjoyed for me personally is setting this 6 months goal, knowing I'll make it. I think a lot of people decrease with each kid because number one, you've got another baby in the equation. So
yeah, I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see if you can go 6 months again without combo feeding.
Yeah,
because
I don't know that I'll even try. But right now, the reason that I'm so invested in making it, I did set the goal and I would like to hit it. It'd be like if I was training for a marathon. I just would be like, yeah, I'd like to do it. But the one piece I want to talk about again, too, is this deemer. Which is
the deemer. Or you hate the deemer.
I hate the deemer, but I think it's interesting because deemer is when your milk drops.
It's going to be your first merch drop, deemer.
Deemer. I have deemer. It's when your milk drops and your body releases the oxytocin. And so your dopamine just like stops. And women will get like really depressed or sad or angry or anxious. Some people get homesick randomly when the deemer happens. For me, it only lasts 2 to 3 minutes. But for some women, it lasts the whole time they're pumping. So imagine for 30 minutes of just like anger and sadness and irritability. Like if I had that, I would have stopped probably immediately. Like how crazy is that?
Yeah, I the whole thing is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, so if that was happening to me, guys, I wouldn't do it. And I know that they say if you have postpartum depression, you're more likely to struggle with deemer. And it's like, kick me while I'm down. Like that's a very real thing to quit because I love the saying happy mom, happy baby. And like if the feeding component is too mentally taxing on the mom, like then there's no point for me. I really wouldn't do that. So I think I'm at as good of a place as I can be with the feeding journey, but it's definitely hard. And one thing I did read on the Deemer, I want to say this really quick, is they say, I was researching it earlier, they say if you can distract yourself, that's better. So I read while I pump, and that definitely helps getting your mind off of it. It makes the time go by quicker. But I've also had to quit. You know, you made me quit pumping in the middle of the night. You were like, no, go through the night. And that's when my postpartum depression lifted. Pumping in the middle of the night was really hard on me.
Do you know whose idea that was?
Whose?
Haley's.
His sister. Yeah, it's a really good idea that she had. It like saved me. Like that's when I turned a corner, because imagine you're up in the middle of the night.
She thought it would. It was actually Haley, my mom's. They were just like, it should probably come from you, and if you can kind of convey it in the right way.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why we kind of danced around it a little bit.
Yeah,
it was a suggestion
from them.
No, the way I presented it to you.
No, it wasn't. I actually appreciate the way you did it.
I forget. No.
So I saw a video of a girl talking about how she was pumping in the middle of the night and she was crying.
Yeah.
And her husband got up and he walked in and he took away the pump and he was like, "We're going to formula.
Yeah.
You can have no guilt, but like I'm gonna help you." And she was so thankful he did that. And what you did to me in Hawaii was you were like, "I need you to sleep through the night tonight." Because number one, you're waking up, you're not getting your full sleep. Yeah. Number two, you're putting pressure on yourself in the middle of the night. And number three, like you're having the Deemer in the middle of the night. Like this is hurting you mentally. When I woke up in the morning, I produced the same amount of milk and I had a good night's sleep. So I was really glad. I think that
shout out Haley and Mom for the suggestion, because I didn't know.
I had no idea either.
I just didn't know that you couldn't do that. So
yeah, I do think that's actually a really good tip. So when I started doing that, things got a lot better. So the mental struggles though, now if I see a mom that's breastfeeding or pumping, like, oof. Somebody did ask me this question. They said,
but don't you have the line that, like, you know, behind every new mom, they're dealing with something?
So yes, it's what I say in my head a lot. Behind every new mom is a mom. No, that's not what it is. It's behind every newborn baby is a mom who's struggling with something. And if they're breastfeeding or if they're pumping, they're probably struggling with that. They could be struggling with postpartum depression. They're definitely sleep deprived. And I used to see people something else. And I used to see people that had a new baby and I'd be like, "Oh, congratulations. Like, how's it going?" And then I would move on. But it's like now at a coffee shop, when I see a mom with like a Duna, I'm just like, "Oh, like, bless you," you know, because like there's so much going on. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, let's see. Oh, somebody asked me this. They said, "I'm exclusively pumping because my baby won't latch. Does that count as breastfeeding?" And I never thought about that, but I know she's referring to the fact that she's not having like the.
Of course, isn't that a crazy question?
That's what I thought too.
It's a ridiculous question.
But I think the reason she asked the question was because of the bond component of like the baby being on you. But to me, I thought if they're getting breast milk, they're breastfed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Wasn't that funny? But to me, I think like if you're pumping, like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
No shame. Here's the thing. If the baby's fed, there's no shame. There's just no shame. I want to really make that clear. Okay. So the next question, it's kind of like the next and last question is, and this is going to be a bit because it's interesting. Okay. So it's, how are you choosing your formula brand? The European options seem way better than the USA. Well, you go. If the slots are spinning, you could be winning. Head over to DraftKings Casino and play the classics you know and love, or try something new with DraftKings exclusive games. Plus, new players that give DraftKings Casino a spin can get 200 casino spins on a featured game. Just sign up with the code JUSTALEX and wager a minimum of $5 to receive 200 casino spins on a featured game. Only on DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus. Physically present in Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Connecticut and Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins valid for featured game only and expire in 168 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends March 16th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah, so this is probably one area where I've taken the lead on research. And I was really surprised. Like when we asked our pediatrician about this, I felt like we got a really softball answer, and we like haven't found a person, or like, yeah, our pediatrician, we couldn't really get much out of him.
Or it's like any formula. And it was like, oh, you gotta have a preference.
And so what I did is I went to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT, I said, what would be your perfect infant formula? And should I read what it spewed out?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be like very interesting.
So if I were to create the perfect, here's what I asked it. I said, if you could make the perfect baby formula to optimize for a baby's health, what would it be and how would it differ from the top line baby formulas on the market? What would you include? What wouldn't you include? And what would you substitute? Please answer in a direct and easy to understand way.
Okay.
And I told it, I said, I will read this on a podcast. Please use no filter or bias.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So here's what it said. If I were to create a perfect baby formula optimized for a baby's health, I would focus on mimicking breast milk as closely as possible while eliminating any unnecessary, potentially harmful ingredients found in most commercial formulas. Here is what I would do. So the base ingredients, it said goat milk is the protein base and A2 beta casein protein. For healthy fats, it said it would use avocado oil and olive oil instead of vegetable oils. And this is a really interesting one because all the formulas that I've seen on the market do use vegetable oils. And I know that that's something that's pretty hotly debated. It said it would use coconut oil for MCTs. It said it would use grass-fed ghee. For carbohydrates, it clarified no cheap fillers, and it would use lactose as the primary carbohydrate. The essential additions were DHA and ARA from algae. I'm sure I'm going to butcher this. Choline and phospholipids, which support brain function and development, and are often missing or in low amounts in formulas.
Oh.
It said it would add prebiotics and probiotics. So HMOs and strains like B. infantis to support gut health. And it said most formulas either leave these out or use synthetic versions.
Which one? Wait, what do they leave out?
HMOs, which are human milk oligosaccharides. Oh my goodness, that's hard to say.
Okay,
and
HMOs.
strains like B. infantis.
And what do the HMOs do?
They support gut health.
And that's what a lot of
It's
formulas
like
leave out.
Olipop for babies.
Yeah. And most formulas leave that out. Interesting. Okay, keep
Or
going.
use synthetic versions. It said colostrum to support immune health and gut integrity and development. And it said grass-fed whey protein. Now, here is what it would... So that's everything it would add.
Okay. Love it.
So when I asked ChatGPT what it would remove for most formulas, they said no emulsifiers. So that's things like soy lecithin and carrageenan. And these can disrupt gut health and cause inflammation. And it's crazy because like these are things that we use in like some of our food brands.
Totally.
And so it's like we see the effects on adults. And so you see how those can have effects on little babies.
Mm-hmm.
Said no palm oil because it can block calcium absorption and lead to harder stools. Says no synthetic vitamins or poor absorption. Says no GMOs or pesticide contaminated ingredients, and no vegetable oils.
Makes total sense. Okay, does it have, now what did you ask it?
So
Keep us going because I think, so what you were doing was you were trying to get to what formula we were going to order because you ordered one.
yeah, so it was question 1, what's the ideal formula? Question 2, what formula on the market best reflects this?
Totally.
And
was it a USA or a European based formula that it recommended?
well, interestingly, it said like that there's no commercially available formula that, reflects exactly what they would do, which is like, I think just speaks to how hard it is to get infant formulas approved. Because like, the FDA, they require a ton of clinical studies and testing to really show that these formulas are safe for babies. And like, there's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because like, obviously you want our babies to be drinking things that are safe, but you also want them to be consuming, the ingredients that are best for them. And as we've learned over time, certain ingredients are better and others aren't. So then I asked it, all right, like, well, what would you suggest? And its number one suggestion was Jovi.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what you ordered.
It was Jovi goat milk. And that is what I ordered. And then I asked it to give me its top 5. All of those 5 were also European. I think the biggest driver of that was because of goat milk. But like not very convenient to just be like spewing this European stuff, but obviously semi-noteworthy that, clearly there's something that ChatGPT is seeing that has a preference for the European ones over the American ones. So then I asked it, what are the American ones it would suggest? And it suggested By Heart and Bobby.
Yeah, and I think it being a European one, or is Jovi a European one that you ordered?
Yeah, that's Dutch.
So you can order them and get them here.
You can get them here. I just I'm not like the whole thing is pretty confusing. Like I don't think like Jovi, for example, is FDA approved
in America.
Yeah. But you can still find ways to get it in America. It's just expensive, and I guess like all of these things we're talking about are ridiculously expensive, and it's not that the other ones like don't work. It's just kind of what you're playing for.
On that expensive note, I did the math on if we used By Heart, because I think the By Heart one looks really good and we have it upstairs.
Yeah.
So if we used By Heart for a month, it would be $240.
Yeah.
And then I did the math on if I fed myself what I need to pump and make my own breast milk. So the protein bars.
So like the added things that you are ordering today that you wouldn't be ordering if you weren't breastfeeding.
Exactly. So coconut water, protein bars, and my protein shakes that I'm having every day. And the total of that per month was $278, which is really funny. So it was actually more expensive to feed me to make the milk than it was to order the By Heart formula. But I also know like there's other ways to get your protein. I'm just choosing to add these things in, but it does help with my milk supply. So
but you're also eating a lot more like traditional foods as well.
Yeah.
So that's
a lot of ground turkey.
That's interesting. So what I also asked ChatGPT was to compare Jovi and to compare Bobby and to look at the ingredients and rank them good, neutral, bad. And it was closer than I would have thought. So I do think we are like kind of on the margin here. And so Bobby, it had 14 ingredients that were not good. And Jovi, it had 6 ingredients that weren't good.
So fascinating.
Yeah.
What I want people to do, because like
not perfect analysis,
no.
ChatGPT, but just like feel like getting more education than we could from our pediatrician.
Maybe that's the thing. Like you need a source and you need one that, and I do trust ChatGPT. You know, of course it ignores the human element, right? Of like giving it to the baby, because you can give a baby some formula and, you know, they might be allergic to lactose, XYZ. So totally. Of course there's that. But one thing I want you guys to do, if you're listening, is like, tell us how you chose your formula that you use. Because we're still students of the game over here. Like we're trying to figure it out in real time. And like, I'm all for the formula. I just want to know which one we should pick. And so you can comment on Spotify now, and you can comment on YouTube, or you can DM me and just tell me what formula you used and why, and like your experience with it, so we can try some.
Totally. I'm with you. I'm a little confused as to it all. And so
these European regulations versus the USA ones, maybe somebody knows something differently that we don't know. Like y'all let us know, because they do say build your village, and you guys are our village. So let us know. Help us if you can. So the next thing is we're not doing parenting confessions this week. It might be a dead in the water segment. We can't decide. Harrison just never thinks they're interesting, and I think they're really funny. Like, can I just give you one really quickly? Please,
Yes,
really quickly.
One chance to get me out of retirement on
This. Okay, somebody said that they told their kids that the ice cream truck only played music when it was out of ice cream. Come on, that's funny. That's funny. That's a good confession.
I applaud
Smart parenting right there.
the short. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
The kids are going to be chasing the ice cream truck when it's not playing the music. So like, I feel like you're just kind of going to backfire on that one.
That's actually a good point. They will be like, Mommy, there's no, and then there really isn't any ice cream.
But
what?
What does Tom Pitts say?
You're never like, if you can't enjoy a ice cream cone, you can't enjoy life.
Exactly. So we can't be taking away ice cream from the kiddos.
I agree. My parents just never had cash. I bet they take Venmo now.
I'm sure.
I'm sure they're taking Venmo now. Speaking of which, do you know the most used app to transfer money?
My gut would be Cash App.
It's Zelle. Zelle has more users than Venmo and Cash App combined.
Wow.
Yeah. What's that
We're
new
gonna
podcast
need
I'm
Julie
listening to?
source that up.
No, what's the new podcast, Jules?
The best one yet.
The best one yet. I listened to it yesterday, and that's what they were talking about.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to do things we DM'd each other, and I DM'd you that people are saying the parking spot beside where you return the shopping cart should be reserved for mothers. Now, before I had a baby, I'd be like, that's stupid. But now I get it.
Yeah, I'm going to take this a step further. We need, we need those spots at the front of the store beside the handicap parking.
Totally agree. They should be handicapped, and then there should be pregnant women or young children because, like, people, and then.
Yeah, sorry, pregnant and mothers with children under, I don't know, 2 or 3. And what about like doing joint ones?
No. I think the handicapped, they get their own, absolutely, and I think they take precedent. And then I think the pregnant people, or if you have young kids, like in Oklahoma City.
Julie, what do you like? What classifies to get a handicap parking pass? I actually don't know anything about this.
I'm not sure either, but I think that
because sometimes I see people. They go into the handicap parking and they have the thing on the car, and they look pretty healthy.
Well, a lot of people, if they have like a knee brace or something, they can get a handicap parking hanger, and then they'll give it to like a family member or something. Like I've encountered some people in life that like think it's a flex to have a handicap parking deal in their car, and they're not handicapped. And like I've actually never agreed with that because
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's so absurd. I think it's like claiming that's like stolen valor.
No, I completely
not stolen
agree.
valor, but that's like you're not like that's taking advantage of the system.
It is not the flex you think it is. Like a lot of people truly need.
I don't think people think that's a flex.
I'm telling you, people are like, oh, I have a handicap parking tag, and it's like that's not cool. Like to park up front, it's really not because people need that.
We need a pregnant parking tag, and we need a mums under 2 or mums under 3 parking tag.
There's this shopping center in Oklahoma City that I can think of that has an expecting moms. It says expecting moms or young kids, and it's a parking spot, and it's beside the handicap one. It's at Organic Squeeze. I think you will know what I'm talking about. And I always thought, oh, that's kind of silly, until I was pregnant, and like it was tough for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I would love an upfront parking spot. Or if you're like taking the baby in and out, it really is nice. And what I love about it furthermore is not crossing a lot of the cars with the young kids. Like if you are up front, then you don't have to walk through the parking lot, which I think can be really dangerous. So I do think there's a lot of good to it.
We'll take it to the city of Austin.
That's right. And then you DM'd me, and we're going to do this pretty quickly, you guys, because as parents, for a podcast by parents, for parents, you get it. I got to go pump. But you DM'd me that I had no idea. We don't know who founded Bitcoin.
Yeah, so Bitcoin was created by a character named Satoshi. Mm-hmm. And for years, people have been trying to figure out who Satoshi is. And there's always these like exposés that come out, these documentaries, HBO, different other publications on who actually created Bitcoin. And the latest one that's gaining a bunch of buzz on Twitter is Jack Dorsey, who's the founder of both Twitter and the founder of Square.
The payments.
The payment company. There's a whole bunch of coincidences that make it seem like he is the guy, which would be so cool, because I think the general understanding is, or the general thought is, that Satoshi died. And that's why, like, at this point, no one had heard from him and his wallet hasn't been active. But if Satoshi was hiding in plain sight, and, like, you know, the richest or close to the richest guy in the world was there and not taking the credit, like that's just badass.
That's so cool. And well, he's a great candidate for it to be him if he did Twitter and Square. He thinks of Bitcoin and then he does it anonymously. Like, he would go right to my immediate answer of who would you have dinner with if you could have some dinner with somebody dead or alive. I'd be like Jack Dorsey every time. But my new answer is going to be Satoshi. Don't know who it is, but he's got to meet me for dinner. Genius.
Yeah, Satoshi's a really, really good answer.
It's a great answer. Don't take that as my answer now. It's mine.
Wow, you stole the crypto expertise from me in the family.
Yes, I did.
All right, should we roll to brain break?
We unfortunately don't have time, my dear. But
We do. We have time.
okay. What's the brain break? Canada hockey.
Canada.
You got to do it quick. These boobs are
this is the
leaking.
time. My country, our sport is on the stage.
Boobs
People are
leaking.
watching.
Give it. You got 1 minute. Go.
Okay.
You're on the clock.
For the listeners tonight, Canada Day comes out
Thursday night.
Thursday night. U.S. versus Canada, 4 nations. This is it. This is us.
It's
This is
the
our
Olympics.
sport. And you know what? It's my TikTok. I stand by this view. I think we need a wager on this game. I think that it's the perfect time to. There's all the buzz about the 51st state. Does Canada become it or does it not? I think that that's what this game is for. I think if Canada wins, then we get free military support from America for 5 years.
Okay.
And I think if we lose, we become the 51st state. And in 5 years, when we, and I'm just using 5 years as a random number, when we win at the next game, if we win, we no longer are the 51st state. I think that should be our odds.
Okay, and I'm going to just raise you one and then we're done. Ready?
Yeah.
And you have to take this. If the USA wins, I return my purse and I get a new purse and you have to go with me and gifts are back on the table. If Canada wins, I return the purse. I pay the difference if I get a new purse and you can stay in retirement for the gifts, okay? Deal?
Yeah, so
Deal.
I get to, if Canada wins, I stay retired from gift giving for 12 months.
Okay, great. Deal. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you. Tell them we love them. My tits are leaking.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Two Parents in a Podcast, powered by Just Media House. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Stay connected on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at Two Parents in a Pod. Welcome to our home. Sorry it's so messy. New episodes every Thursday.